Authoritative express bus and a trailer at Awasi in Kisumu County. The accident that occurred few minutes after midnight, it left more than 30 people injured as well. So yes, we're definitely going to bring to you more stories and more details with regards to what is happening in Kisumu. Well, for now, it's time to tell you the latest with the Likoni ferry tragedy, and of course hopes of recovering the body of a woman and her 4-year-old daughter who drowned in the Indian Ocean last Sunday became even slimmer yesterday after heavy rains hampered operations to salvage their vehicle, which has been sighted over 60 meters under the sea. And to give us more details right now, government spokesperson that Cyrus Oguna is speaking at the Likoni Ferry Channel, and let's cross over and listen into the latest.
The update we've also been providing to the families psychosocial support just to ensure that they are in good state of mind. So the government, we have been in constant contact with not just the family but even the relatives of the two bodies that are down under the seabed. So we'll continue to do that until the bodies are recovered. But I also wish to state here that the dynamics of these operations have not changed. The challenges that we are facing in these operations have not changed. In fact, the 14 points that we did mention are actually spread over almost an area of 1 to 2 miles. So that can give you the impression of the challenges of how to be able to determine with the exact finality what the locations are. But we are hopeful that by the end of today, we'll be able to give you positive results. Naomba kusema pia kwamba kwa leo tumepeleka wapiga mbizi kule majini na tunasubiri warudi ili watupatie taarifa kamili kile ambacho wameweza kuona kule chini. Kumbuka changamoto zile tuko nazo ni zile ambazo hazijabadilika. Jana kulikuwa na hali anga ambayo haikuwa nzuri, na sehemu ambazo tuliweza kukagua jana hatukuweza kukagua kikamilifu kwa sababu hali mbaya ya anga. Leo tumerudia kukagua sehemu hizo tatu ili kuweza kudhibitisha ni mambo yapi ya kumule. Watakapotoka kutoka kule chini ya maji, tutawapatia taarifa ni kitu kipi wamepata kutoka huko. Tumepata nguvu pia kutoka kwa watu binafsi ambao kuja kutuongezea nguvu na tunawakaribisha, lakini tunasema kwamba wanapokuja lazima wafanye kazi kulingana na ule utaratibu ambao unaongozwa na Kenya Navy. Familia tumekuwa nao kwa pamoja tangu wakati wa mwanzo hadi wakati huu. Kila wakati tunawapatia taarifa ni yapi yamejiri, na tunapadizi kuwapatia pia ile tunasema msaada ya kisaikolojia ili waweze kuwa katika hali nzuri ya kuweza kukubali kwamba mambo haya yote ni mpango ya Mwenyezi Mungu, wala si mpango ya mtu yote. Nafikiri tukiendelea hivyo tutakuja kuwa na mwisho mzuri kuliko vile ilivyo kwa sasa hivi. Lakini pia kuna mambo ningependa kuongezea tu. Ni kwamba changamoto zipo. Hizo changamoto hazijabadilika. Changamoto ya kwamba hata ukiangalia saizi kuna meli inapita. Kule chini kuna watu ambao wana dive kama mpiga mbizi. Ni watu ambao wana maisha yao, tunafikiri lazima tuwajali maisha yao. Kwa hivyo changamoto hizo pia zinachangia operation hii kuchukua kipindi kirefu ama muda mrefu kuliko vile tulivyotarajia. Ila pia ningependa kuongezea, ndugu watazamaji, kwamba operation kama hizi sio za kukimbizwa. Tunapeana mifano mengi kwamba kuna sehemu ambazo operation kama hizi zimefanywa na zikachukua zaidi ya wiki moja, zaidi ya wiki mbili. Ikipeana mfano wa kwanza, tunakumbuka kwamba kulikuwa na ndege moja helikopta ilianguka kule ziwa la Lake Nakuru. Ilichukua takriban ya siku 24 kuweza kupata mabaki ya ile ndege. Pia tunakumbuka mwaka huu mwezi wa kwanza kumekuwa na ndege ilianguka katika kivuko cha English, ambapo kuna mchezaji mmoja anaitwa Salah kutoka nchi ya Brazil aliweza kupata ajali pale na mwili wake ilichukua zaidi ya wiki 2. Kwa hivyo nataka kuwatayarisha wananchi tu kwamba mambo haya tusiyakimbize, tuwe na subira, tupatie taasisi ambazo zinahusika na mambo haya ukoaji muda ya kuweza kufanya kazi yao, na ninaamini sana.
Right, of course, that is government spokesperson Colonel Cyrus Oguna, who has been giving the latest with regards to the update on the retrieval operations that are still ongoing. And he says for now, all they have to offer is psychosocial support to the families of the two who perished in that particular tragedy. For now, 14 people who lost their lives early on Friday in a head-on collision between an Eldoret Express bus and a trailer at Awasi in Kisumu County. Now, this accident that occurred few minutes after midnight left more than 30 people injured. Dan Kaburu now reports.
Another accident and more deaths on the highway. This was a scene of Friday morning's Greasy Road accident, where a trailer heading to Kisumu collided head-on with an Eldoret Express bus destined for Nairobi. 14 people died on the spot. 36 others were left with serious injuries.
Kufika mahali ya ajali, ilikuwa ni jaribu ku-overtake trailer ingine ambayo ilikuwa inaelekea sehemu ya Kericho. Iko nao trailer ingine ilikuwa inateremka kutoka Kericho ikielekea Kisumu. Hapo zikagongana ana kwa ana.
Kuna gari ya Eldoret yenye ilikuwa imetokea side ya Siaya ikielekea Nairobi. Na ilikuwa imebeba abiria wengi. Saa kufika katikati ya Awasi na Kericho, kuna trailer yenye Eldoret Express ilikuwa inajaribu ku-overtake, lakini ilikuwa wrong overtaking. Akaingia kwa lori ingine kubwa, wakagongana ana kwa ana.
Kufika hapo tulipata kama watu 13 wamededi.
Nilikuwa naomba tu Matiang'i arudishe au maafisa kwa barabara kwa sababu kukosa kurudisha maafisa kwa barabara ndio inafanya hao madereva wanaendesha magari hivi.
According to the Kenya Red Cross, the injured were rushed to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, Awasi Mission Hospital, and Hope Medical Hospital.
Must have 2 DGs here.
In Nairobi, Police spokesman Charles Owino and National Transport and Safety Authority Director General Francis Major addressed the media over the fatal accident, with NTSA sending its technical team to the scene to ascertain the cause of the accident.
Preliminarily, from the eyewitnesses or the people who were in the bus who have not got seriously injured, claim that the oncoming truck was on very high speed and it did not dim the light, so the driver seemed to have been blinded, lost control, and got involved in and ended up getting a head-on collision. But this is subject to this is just a preliminary report from a bystander. These are subject to further investigations.
This is a problem that requires a lot of intervention from all stakeholders. And we must all play our rightful role in doing so. One of the biggest challenges we are having, in my opinion, is that if you look at the accidents and the data that we have, the largest contributor to this is human behavior.
Drivers of both vehicles are among those who died. Dan Kaburu, K24 Newscut.
All right, and to give us the latest with regards to this accident that happened a few minutes after midnight and took the lives of 14 people, well, Baraka Karama joins us live from Kisumu, and he will be telling us the latest with regards to what is happening as we speak right now. Baraka.
Shiksha, I'm still at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, and what I can confirm right now is that 7 victims are still under observation here by the medical personnel in this particular facility. 16 have already been treated of minor injuries and discharged. Remember, we had 23 victims who were brought here at this particular facility to receive treatment. Others were taken to Ahero Sub-County and Muhoroni Sub-County Hospital to receive treatment. Remember, this also comes at a time when the health workers in this particular county are down their tools, demanding the salaries from the month of May, and because of that there's a shortage of the medical personnel who are treating the victims of this particular accident that occurred along the Kisumu-Kericho highway. According to the doctor in charge of this particular facility, Dr. Okoth, he did confirm to us that indeed there's a shortage of the medical staff who are taking care of the victims who were brought in this particular facility. According to him, he says that their conditions, the ones that are still under observation, he says that their conditions are stable, and they're working hard to ensure that they are treated to the injuries that they had in that particular accident. Others who have already been discharged were treated of minor injuries. Remember, according to the statistics that we have from the police, is that 6 male and 6 female and also 1 child succumbed to the injuries after that accident occurred along the Kisumu-Kericho highway. We've been to the Ahero Sub-County Hospital, where 13 bodies are still lying there. Actually, the bereaved family members have already flocked that particular mortuary to identify the bodies of the loved ones and maybe start arrangements for the burial. We managed to speak to some of them, who of course say that they learned of this particular accident and the demise of their loved ones with great shock. And actually they say that they didn't expect such thing to happen. One of them we spoke to said that he had accompanied his wife at the Kisumu bus park, and of course they were in constant communication, but he learned of the sad news of that accident in the morning, and because of that he had to make his way to Ahero Sub-County Hospital to identify the body of his wife. So right now I can say that there's still activity here at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital. The medical experts who have reported back to work trying very hard to ensure that they treat the victims who had injuries in that particular accident. Actually, the Kenya Red Cross has also set up a tracing department here, where the relatives and those who are tracing the details of their loved ones are able to get the details in this particular facility. So that's it. Like I mentioned, we'll be able to give you more update information as far as this particular accident is concerned. Like I mentioned earlier also, is that police have launched investigations into this particular accident. We spoke to the Regional Commissioner for Nyanza, James Kianda, who confirmed that that bus had 50 passengers on board, and of course he says that police have already launched investigations into the cause of the accident. So we'll be able to update you as far as we get more details about concerning this particular accident. But right now 7 victims of the ill-fated crash are still under observation here at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital. Back to you, Shiksha.
Thank you very much, Baraka Karama, for that update. All right, now we'll be moving to other stories. Now remember, Starehe Girls Center in Nairobi was closed indefinitely yesterday following the outbreak of the unknown disease that left over 80 students presenting symptoms ranging from a cough, sneezing and pain in the ribcage. Now we got an exclusive with the director of that particular school, and Gloria Milimu is going to be giving us more details with regards to what was said earlier on with regards to the same story. So yes, let's get over to Gloria and join her as she brings us up to speed with the story. Gloria.
Well, Shiksha, just like you've put it, we got an exclusive with the school director, who said that the school has not been closed indefinitely, but the students have been given a 3 days break. So they expected back in school on Monday. Remember, as of yesterday, this place was a beehive of activity. Parents just streaming in for their children after being told to do so by the school's management. Remember, the school was acting on a directive by the Ministry of Health that told them to release the students because after assessment of the over 80 students who presented these symptoms ranging from cough to experiencing pain in the ribcage area, the ministry directed the school to let them go home and get support from their parents and also their relatives, given that they ruled out any possibility of an infection or bacteria among the students who presented with these symptoms. Maybe if my cameraman can just pan right behind me, classrooms, Shiksha, we've been able to see students. Remember that Form 4 students are the ones who are currently in school. After the Form 1 students up to Form 3 students were released yesterday to go and get psychosocial support from their parents following this directive that was issued yesterday. We've been able to experience relative calm here in the school, and also we've seen students just walking in and out of their classrooms, and the teachers are here as learning activities also going on as usual among the students who have remained here. So Shiksha, the director, also earlier on told us that the students who are expected to start the examination this week, the students who are sent home to go and get this psychosocial support from their parents, they were expected to start the examination this week, but following this incident, they were released and to go home with their parents, and are expected to start the exams in the course of next week once they report back here. And we've also seen some parents just still coming in for their children, and we managed to talk to one of the parents who came here for her daughter, and she told us that she will be taking her to hospital just to rule out any possibility of any infection. So we're just here keeping in tabs with this story. Remember, the ministry said that upon assessment following a joint operation by the Ministry of Health and also specialists from the Kenyatta National Hospital, they ruled out any possibility of an infection among the students who presented with these symptoms. So Shiksha, we're just here waiting to see whether there will be more parents coming in for their children, and just keep our viewers updated in our subsequent bulletins. Shiksha.
Thank you very much, Gloria, for that update, of course. So she has mentioned that there was no infection. It was mass hysteria, according to the Ministry of Health. And the schoolgirls, have been given 3 days off. They'll be reporting back to school on Monday. Well, for now, we're going to be covering other stories that have been making headlines. Now, remember, yesterday, a mother who was 25 years old and her 3-year-old daughter were fighting for their lives at Nakuru Hospital after being burned with petrol by the husband and the father for arriving home late. So let's listen in to what the mother had to say yesterday. And of course, we got very unfortunate news that she passed on this morning in hospital. And of course, we're going to be crossing over to our reporter Kigodha Mwangi from Nakuru as he brings us up to speed with what exactly was the cause of death. We know that she had sustained 25% of burn marks and burn injuries. And of course, Kigodha, it is very unfortunate and a very unfortunate incident indeed. So what are the doctors currently saying?
Indeed, Shiksha Arora, a sad afternoon for us all who filed a story of a woman by the name Lucy Nyira, who was burnt up to 25% of her body by the husband on allegation that she had gone to buy clothes that she sells and overstayed where she was on Saturday night. And once she was burnt, she was brought here at Nakuru Level 5 Hospital, where she was admitted and also where she was given medication, but unfortunately she died 5 a.m. in the morning today. And the family members have said, especially the sister, has said that her sister did not deserve to die in such a way. They remember that the sister was loving and she had 3 adorable kids that are still with the grandparents. And now joining me is one of the residents of the area who is a close relative of the deceased, to just tell us exactly what transpired during that day. Mama, utanizungumzia kwa Kiswahili, utasimama hapa na uangalie kamera zetu, na pengine haswa ni nini kilitendeka siku ambayo mwenda zake aliweza kuja kutoka Nakuru, kutoka Nairobi, na utaanza kwa majina yako.
Naitwa Eunice Watere. Tulikuwa mwendo wa saa 4:30. Huyo mama alikuwa anatoka kuendea manguo. Ndio biashara yenye alikuwa anafanya. Sasa kufika kwake kwa nyumba, mzee alikuwa amemgoja. Akamwambia amechelewa. Kumwambia amechelewa, hapo ndio alimchapa. Huyo mama akaanguka chini na kumwagilia acid. na kumchoma. Vile alichoma kijana alitoka akaenda kwa ndugu yake. Akaanza kusema aokolewe na ndugu yake, apewe blanketi amelala.
Well, sad matters that even the neighbor is not able to speak to us. It's a rather sad thing to lose one person that you loved in such a circumstance, and we are informed that the perpetrator of this heinous act has been arrested and arraigned in court and has also been brought here for medication also because he sustained some injuries too. And we are going to be following up, and we are saying sorry to the family because nobody deserves such a cruel death, and we ask the law enforcers to make sure that the perpetrator of this act is brought to book. My name is Kigodho Mwange, my camera person is John Wangombe, as we take you back for the rest of the news brief from Nakuru.
Thank you very much, Kigodho Mwangi, for that update. Of course, our condolences to the family of the lady who passed on in Nakuru. Now moving on, 3 private schools were today closed in Kiambu slums, Kamukunji in Nairobi County, where a multi-agency team tasked by the Ministry of Education made spot checks on the state of schools in the country. Area Deputy County Commissioner Moses Lilan, who led the operation, said that they have so far inspected 90 schools, 30 of which were deemed to have poor infrastructure. Some of the schools have since been closed, while others have been advised to improve the infrastructure. 3 of the schools which were closed today will now see students relocated to the neighbouring public schools so that learning is not interrupted. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha yesterday reiterated the ministry's commitment to ensure learners' safety is not compromised following the Precious Talents Academy incident, which left 8 learners dead.
This school, Little Hearts, has an enrollment of 123 learners. They will be accommodated in Sawadi Primary School. Sawadi Primary School has enough places for 300 learners.
Walimu sahi wamekosa kazi. Ukweli rongo. Wale watoto wetu sahi wanaenda kufanya mtihani, au sio? Wako. Kwa hivyo, sahi wanataka kuenda kwa shule nyingine, wanaenda kupata mwalimu mwingine, ajui hiyo tabia yake, ajui mafikirio zake, ajui vile anafundisha watu, au sio? Wale wanafanya kuenda mtihani. Kama mimi mtoto yangu anaenda kufanya mtihani. Kwa hivyo nalisa hivi, je, huyo mtoto atasaidiwa aje?
So we are even, ensuring the parent gets some reprieve in terms of ensuring the children go to those public schools. But if a parent, in their own volition, in their own wisdom, think that they have a better idea other than the school that we have closed, all right, then that one is a personal choice. But what we are saying is that we have provided an alternative. These kids will be admitted, they will be given books, they will not be forced to buy new uniforms, they will not pay any monies, they will not pay any levies.
Now, leaders and settlers at the disputed Chepchoida settlement scheme along the border of West Pokot and Trans Nzoia County have protested what they claim as police harassment, brutality and unlawful eviction by the government from land they say they have owned for over 20 years. They accused local administrators and security officers working in the area for causing unrest among residents. The settlers are now calling upon the government to address the long-standing dispute, which they say has been not resolved for far too long. The settlers also claim that they were allocated 5 acres of land each at the scheme under Agricultural Development Corporation in 1994 and 97 by former President Daniel Arap Moi, but they say the government has been frustrating them and allocating the land to unknown individuals.
Serikali itusaidie kusudi tumekaa kama wakimbizi kwa njia ambayo hatujajua ni nini, sababu tunakimbishwa usiku na mchana.
Askari wale ambao wameletwa hapa na DC, lakini sasa ameondoka. Nafikiri yule mtu mwingine mnakuja atakuwa fair. Hapa iko AP wale and stock wanakuja na sijui jina yao ni kazi yao ni kudila ng'ombe. Sasa sio hivyo. Inasemekana hao ndio wanaanza kulima sasa mashamba. Kwa sababu hakuna wizi ya ng'ombe siku hizi hapa. Zamani jeshi ndio walikuwa wanafanya kazi hapa. Kwa sababu wizi ilikuwa kubwa. Watu walikuwa wanaingia Trans Nzoia, watu walikuwa wanaingia Sebei hapa hivi. Lakini sasa hiyo saa hizi hakuna. Watu wanalima. Hii mahindi ambayo iko hapa hivi ni ile ya Pokot wenye na Turkana, wale wanapambana na nini? Na askari hao. Sasa inakuwa sasa wanarasel kwa shamba.
All right, now restoration efforts of the degraded Mao forest have commenced at Ngombeni area where the first phase of evictions was successfully completed. Hundreds of residents have begun evacuating voluntarily from the area as government embarked on planting eco-friendly bamboo trees in efforts to guard the water tower. Take a look.
Awasi South Development Authority, which has been tasked with the restoration process, has already planted over 200 acres of bamboo plantation at Ngombeni.
Walitoka na kukubali ya kwamba hii miradi iendelee. Kwa hivyo wakati shirika hii ya Henseda ilikuja, waliongea na community. Wakaeleza community tuko na mpango ya kupanda bamboo na watu waliitikia.
Ngombeni residents have already welcomed the move and are assisting in planting of the trees.
This area, the entire of this area, in 3 years' time, it will have closed the canopy.
Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembea say the government will not relent in the restoration process and will rectify mistakes done in the past while evicting squatters from the forest. He, at the same time, promised to charge individuals involved in the illegal sales of the forest land.
Wale wengine ambao labda wanadanganywa na watu wengine kwamba endelea kukaa pale kwa sababu kuna matumaini ya kwamba watu wataendelea kukaa pale, hiyo ni uongo, wanadanganywa. Tafadhali watu watoke, mpewa hiyo nafasi, watoe kwa hiari. Mtu kama ako na nyumba yake aibomoe polepole, kama ako na vyakula zake avune polepole, alafu atoke ili tupate nafasi ya kuanza sasa kupanda miti, ambayo vile nilisema juzi ni kwamba serikali iko na mpango ya kuanza kupanda miti.
The national government has recovered 4,000 hectares in the first phase of Mau eviction, with the second phase targeting 9,500 hectares. Mombi Okoth, K24 Newscut.
And that's how we wrap up this edition of K24 Newscut. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Shiksha Arora, joined by the sign language interpreter Walter Sewe. And on this note, I'd like to wish you a fantastic weekend. I'll see you on Monday. But for now, don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we have Tony Kwalanda with your latest sports banter.